Allow me to welcome everybody. This is the regular meeting of the North Oakland Transportation Authority. Today is Thursday, April 18th, 2024, and we're meeting courtesy of Oxford Township due to the change in use that we've had at our NODA headquarters. So we'll be meeting here regularly unless otherwise stated. First item of business is a roll call for attendance. Please, Lynn.
Sure. McDonald.
Here.
Zarowski is excused. Waffles excused. Flood.
Here.
Curtis.
Here.
Pearson is excused. Burnett is excused. Kelch. Here.
Howdy.
There's Carl. Brakefield.
Here.
Payne.
Here.
Borgeau.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum and we have almost all, all the communities are represented, so that's great. Okay, moving on then, we'll have respects to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, down to business. The board's been presented with an agenda. Were there any additions that you'd like?
Unless you do think we should do
Is it needed?
It is needed.
Okay.
It would probably be great just to bring it up, speed it up a month. So.
Okay, so under new business, there'll be a C, which will be office furniture.
Right.
I would move to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? If none, all in favor of the motion to approve the agenda as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, please say no. Okay, moving on to the minutes of our regular meeting held in March. Are there any questions, changes, edits?
Oh,
If none,
Mr. President, I'll move to approve the March 21st, 2024 minutes as presented.
support. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to approve the minutes of March, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no.
I'd like to abstain.
Okay. Okay, moving on then to the director's report. Lynn?
Yes, I won't read my report, but just a couple other highlights that's happened since then. Mike and I attended the Rural Transit conference put on by MDOT this week up in Mount Pleasant, and it was really helpful. There's a lot of information that we really didn't realize because we're under SMART's umbrella. So there's a lot of things that go on that SMART deals with that we don't deal with. So it was really kind of nice to have that opportunity. And I think that we found some new funding opportunities that I think we're going to be able to apply for, like 5311 for rural areas, that I think is worthwhile. And it was because of this workshop that we ended up getting LBO funding last year, because SMART ended up getting all of ours. So it's helpful. So it was a good workshop. Today I'm part of the Transportation Coordinating Council at SunCog. We had that meeting this morning, which was good. They just put out their vision through 2050, the transportation plan. It's quite a big plan. When I get back to the office, I can email it to you, but it's a big one. And it's got a lot of good information in there too. So that got approved today, and is to be taken to the next level. We have a news article coming in next week. I just got a copy of it about an hour ago on the rough draft of the article. So that's going to be in all of the papers for Orion, Oxford, Brandon, and Clarkston, along with an ad. So we're almost like, be ready or not.
So we're paying for the
ad.
ad.
Ready or not, huh?
So we're paying for the ad, but getting an article as well.
Article for free,
Okay.
yeah.
I got
So
it.
I guess it's a
Yes.
50 and up promotional thing through the paper, so we thought it would be a good time to do it, and we're just hoping we're ready for it. So And I was trying to get pricing for the cubicles because we're gonna be transforming our break room, former boardroom into a dispatch office just because we've expanded so much. So I did not receive all of the quotes in time, but I do have a general idea. So that's what I'm hoping if we can just approve an amount up to, because it is really crazy in dispatch right now. So that's what that's about. And yeah, is there any questions else on the report? Okay.
Okay, thank you, Lynn.
Motion to receive and file the director's.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to receive and file the director's report for April. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Motion carries. Okay,
Your turn, Mark.
anybody here have any public comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to approval of financial activity.
I move to receive and file the financial activities report.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the financial activity information. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no.
Okay, Margie, it's yours again.
Okay,
Okay, I move to approve the bills for $476,524.93.
Second.
we have a motion and a second to approve the bills for March at the amount stated. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, or I guess a roll call, please, Lynn.
Sure. McDonald?
Yes.
Cyrowski?
Yes.
Flood?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Couch?
Yes.
Wakefield?
Yes.
Payne?
Yes.
Rochelle?
Yes.
Very good, motion carries. Okay, moving on to new business. The first item is a memo of understanding or between Independence Township and NODA. Lynn, do you want to give a brief synopsis of whether we're there yet or what we need to get there?
This is, this memo is between Independence and us. Oakland County made it clear that they did not want to do a contract between Oakland County and Independence because Oakland County is under contract with NODA to provide the service. I think that Independence wanted to have an understanding with us taking over on March 1st. It's a 6-month pilot that we have. I think they just wanted to have some general guidelines on what our operation was going to be. I really don't have an issue with the guidelines that we have, but I do have a couple of questions. One, and one that Eli from the Oakland County is concerned with, is the municipal credits. So municipal credit dollars are the SMART dollars that flow through SMART, and those dollars generally go along with the provider of the transportation. So the idea that Eli was hoping to have part of this is that once the pilot is over, that future municipal credits will go to whoever's providing the service in that area. Talking to Adam Klein, who's the senior director in Independence, because they currently have 6 vehicles that are being parked, not being used right now, other than for special events. So, and the understanding with municipal credits was that they were to use the credits to fund their operations for January and February, because we were taking over March 1st. And that was an understanding that we had with the county, that they could use their municipal credits to fund that. I don't know if they've used all of those credits yet or not, but then the understanding that we had, at least with what Oakland County thought, was that then after the pilot, moving forward, if they've used them up this year, then next year those credits would apply to us if we're providing the service in that area. He was saying that they would like to retain 2 of the vehicles that they have to use those for special events and use municipal credit dollars to fund those. So my question was, so I'm just gathering information right now, so I put that out to SMART because I asked MDOT while I was at the conference, they really weren't sure, because the only place in the state that has municipal credits is SMART. So we're throwing it, I posed a question to a number of the SMART people today, asking them, because I think that there's a minimum number of trips that they have to do and a number of miles that have to be put on those vehicles in order to qualify for those funds. I just don't know what those numbers are. So I'm trying to gather that information, and I feel like once we get that information, depending on what's happening, it's just gonna probably happen. So that's one issue. The other issue is the cost of the rental. They mention in the memo that we're currently using some of their office space, park office space. It's just 146 square feet of an area that we're sharing with the park office people. And so what I did is, and Adam's been great working with me because I'm not even sure how to cost it or whatever. So I just went to LoopNet to get some pricing per square feet in the area. And I put together kind of a couple different scenarios on calculation of park rental. So looking at some of the areas in Oxford, Waterford, Clarkston, it goes from like $12 a square foot, that's per year, to $19. It would, costing those out, it would go from like $17.52 to $27.74. And that's assuming, you know, the space that that it was costing out are a much nicer space. We're not sharing the space, but we are sharing the space with Independence. So there's a lot of that. And the fact that we're putting in a $15,000 automatic gate already into their property. So those are all considerations. So I put together this just saying, and usually when you rent, your parking comes with your rental. So, you know, if you obviously don't pay separate for the parking of the vehicles.
Are you thinking we pay 50% if we're sharing the space?
So, I mean, this is our portion, 146, so I'd said based on that, 2,000 would be probably generous, a year,
Wow.
$2,000
Oh,
a year.
What's
Yeah.
that, a month?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
No, it's
So
so
that's what I
tight.
put out there, and I'm like, and really, that would pay actually for 7.5 years of our $15,000 gate that we're putting, so that's basically takes us to the end of the millage. So I just sent that to them along with the things. I haven't heard back on what their response is.
Put a little coin thing by the gate.
Yeah.
You know, if you're independent,
Right.
you have to put your coins in to get the gate open.
Right.
Or else you've got a card.
Yeah.
So
So
golf.
those are my thoughts on it. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on calculation of rental of space, but,
Have they actually brought it up to you to pay rent or
so they put it in the memo. They just said.
in the memo?
In the memo of understanding, it basically said, so that we can use it for free during this pilot, but the amount that we're gonna pay after has not to be yet to be determined.
They might just say, forget it.
But,
Good.
so I don't know, I didn't want them to come back and say 5,000 a month, and, you know, I mean, I wanna make sure that we're figuring out what that amount is ahead of time before there's some surprise, so.
You've now advised us of these conditions.
Yes.
And does anybody have any other concerns about the memorandum of understanding?
Are these dates correct, or we gotta move these dates ahead?
No, these are the dates. We started it on March 1st.
So we are,
We're in the middle of it.
so we're in the middle of it now?
Right,
Okay.
so,
All right.
and we're just doing it, it's really almost like it's not necessary to have this MOU, but it's really for them and for us to have an understanding of
Were
what's
they
going on.
WODA or something? What were they?
They had their own.
No, they were independents.
Independents had 6 vehicles.
Technically independent.
Just they
Yeah.
serviced only their community.
Okay.
That in
No,
Springfield. They
Independence
did
is
Springfield,
independent.
Clarkston,
Yeah.
and Independence, but
What building is this that they're in? Is it
So-
in Independence Township owned building?
it is.
Yes,
It's
it
a-
would
It's in the
Yeah,
park,
it's
right?
It's in the
Yeah.
park, it's in the park across from the senior center,
At least you can have.
behind the little, it's a
Yeah.
little like park garage,
Yeah.
basically. So there's a garage door, we can go in through a code, go in there.
So Lynn's
They
got
give us like
something.
one space to put shelves, like to put like, auto supplies if we wanna do that, and there's a little desk that we have there's our iPad to sign in, a printer where we send all of our schedules, because right now we don't have tablets, so the drivers go in there, they get the keys, we have a locked key box, they grab their keys, they get their schedule, and that's.
So
and
somewhere
there's some
down the
forms.
line, we're gonna need a building over.
I hate to say it, our horses have bigger stalls than this.
It's a very small area.
I know.
Well, I know Loda's got 5 different spaces, and actually this is more than any of those are. So some of them don't even have a building. They have an outside on a thing that they go and grab their stuff. So, but we'll
Could-
see. you
Could
know.
I make a motion that we give Lynn the authority not to exceed $2,000 a year to cover the cost of rental? If it does come up, she has the authority to act on that,
Second.
Okay.
That cost not to exceed.
and not to exceed $2,000 a year.
Okay, well, that touches on one one aspect. The other condition regarding the municipal credits, frankly, it does not affect us because Oakland County is paying for them, and they're kind of using us to get what they want, which is their municipal credits.
Right.
So, I don't know, should that be a showstopper for us?
No, it's really up to Oakland County. It sounds
Yeah.
like it's more of an issue with Oakland County because they're the ones making up the difference.
Okay, so, well, I'm just discussing this because we're talking about a motion for approval of the memorandum of understanding with these conditions. And that is that we can approve it with the condition that there is a limit on the amount of rental expense, and it can be approved regardless, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, regardless of whether or not Independence agrees or disagrees with using their municipal credits. I don't, it really doesn't affect us.
Is that your motion?
That's, well,
No,
Should that be-
we would have to amend, so are we
You got
gonna
one-
be
you got one there,
casual? Are we gonna be
Okay.
casual, or
You
are
got-
we gonna be,
I think we
Put
should
your
just keep it
conditions,
casual.
I've read the conditions down for you.
I did have our attorney look at it, and he didn't have any issues with it. He said it's fine.
Lori?
So you offered the 2,000 a year, so if we just do the 2,000 not to exceed, do you feel like you need some room to negotiate? I mean, that's my only, if we're looking at amending, should we give a little something extra, another 1,000 or so on it?
If they want more, then they don't sign the memorandum and it'll come back to us. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to
It's
anticipate.
not a contract that needs to be dated today.
Right,
No,
right.
okay, no.
Just a memorandum. yeah.
But it does show that this is our position,
Right.
and then we can go from there.
It's
Lynn can
$1.14
go
a
from
square
there.
foot per month.
Okay.
They might even say nothing.
Yeah.
You
So, Mr. Brakefield,
I didn't hear it
was
say.
your
I want to keep it simple.
was there a second? Lynn?
Um,
There was.
yes, and
Yeah.
Margie?
Oh, Mike, you got it.
Right, so would you care to amend your motion to include that the
Smart credits.
smart credits not be
No, sure.
an issue either way? Or I'm not sure how to say that.
Does it
but
even affect us though? That's the question. If it's not
No,
affecting us.
It will,
Okay, I'd like to amend my motion that we do not utilize any of the smart money at this time.
Amend my second. Oh, wait a minute, that we don't use any of the smart
We
money?
don't do
No,
either.
no,
We-
no, that's not
no.
where you wanna put it.
no, I don't think
It's
that's the way.
available, right?
Why don't you make two
Um,
motions? Why don't we vote, act on the first one, and your second motion might be, is that no to not be involved with
That's
the
better.
discretionary spending of the smart credits.
Okay, so you'll stand on your first motion with the
Yeah, unless
$2,000,
we
yeah?
can add it.
Well, we'll do another motion.
Okay, I'll
About
stand
the
on my
final
first
motion.
motion. It's easier.
Here, maybe it appear less complicated. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the memorandum of understanding with the conditions we've discussed. In this case, the $2,000 rental fee per year for space at Independence Township. So we'll have a roll call for that, Lynn.
Sure. McDonald,
Yes.
Sarowski,
Yes.
Flood,
Yes.
Curtis,
Yes.
Helch,
Yes.
Brakefield,
Yes,
Payne,
Yes.
Bordeaux.
Yes.
sounds like Curtis is ready for a motion.
Okay.
You had it.
Yeah,
Do it again.
I think the motion is, I'll make a motion to keep NODA out of the determination of the smart credits between Independence and Oakland County.
Okay.
I'll
Second.
second it. Okay, Flood got it.
Okay.
Flood beat me by a second.
Okay, so we now have a motion to authorize approval of the memorandum of understanding without regard to the smart municipal credits being transferred.
Yes,
Either way, it could go either way.
right?
That's
It
really
has
up to
no
Oakland.
effect on NODA.
It really is up to Oakland County, and it's I think it's kind of awkward for them to put us in that position, but we'll, if
For
we got a
discussion.
motion, is there any discussion on that?
Yeah, what I think is Independence gets the credit from SMART for having their 6 buses. You're not using those 6 buses. So whatever they do with their credits, if they fall out of compliance with so many miles or so many routes,
They
that,
will.
yeah, they fall out, not us.
Right.
And if Oakland County wants to use them and start capturing those credits, I believe that again doesn't involve us.
Right, I agree.
Okay.
Everybody else? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote then on that, motion?
McDonald?
Yes.
Cyrilski?
Yes.
Flood?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Kelch?
Yes.
Brakefield?
Yes?
Payne?
Yes.
Bourgeon?
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, thank you, Lynn. This next item is a trolley discussion. Have Lynn bring us up to date. And if you would, Lynn, share a few of the particulars regarding conversations that you've had with the involved parties and
Yes.
identify who they are.
Okay, so, the Oxford Township DDA owns the trolley. They purchased it from Smart through an auction, so they.
The Village of Oxford.
The Village of Oxford.
DDA.
Yes, Village of Oxford.
They own
Thank
it.
you.
They own it.
They own it,
Okay.
yes. But we insure it, and we hire the drivers, and we pay the drivers, and we do their drug testing and all that to be,
I thought the DDA was paying
they reimburse us.
Okay.
So they, well,
all right.
right, we bill them monthly,
Okay.
and then they reimburse us.
I wanted to clear
So-
that up.
Yeah.
And they owe us about $8,000, like, since last November or so, so there's money
Yeah.
there.
I read that in the
So,
director's
right,
report, yeah.
so, talking to Kelly, she said that the Lake Orion DDA.
Kelly is the
Kelly is
director
the
of the
director of the
DDA.
Village of Oxford's DDA.
Correct.
But she said that the Village of Orion's DDA is the one that's paying for the trolley bills, probably because they are Oxford purchased the trolley, so, they must have some understanding. So, she was under the understanding that we should be getting payments soon for that, so hopefully I'll keep you posted on that. The issue comes around is that, and we have our drivers, and I don't know, how many do we have? About 4. Some of them are bus drivers, and they have that, and they have to have a CDL in order to drive the trolley. The issue is that it's been shaking, and it's an old trolley, and we know it's an old trolley, but at the stop, once it gets warmed up, it doesn't happen when it's cold, but once it gets warmed up, it's been shaking really bad, where all of our drivers are saying, we don't want to drive it, it's not safe. So we told Kelly, you need to get it fixed before our drivers will drive it. She was very upset last week. We were under, Lorraine is kind of our lead trolley driver. She's the one that kind of organizes the drivers and sets them up on who's driving. And she brought that over to Diesel Tech right around and said, I think it was like on Monday, they dropped it off, and I think Kelly was hoping it was going to be ready for Friday. And last Friday, they went to go pick it up, and it was still all torn apart, so it wasn't ready. And she was very upset that it wasn't ready, that she's got sponsors that are accounting on it, and I told her safety is first. I mean, we're not going to put it out unless it's safe, and our drivers, it's on their license. You know, if they have, if something happens, it goes against their personal license, and then it's their job with the school and whatever. I said, and that's.
And we're liable for this too. We
and we
carry the
are.
insurance,
It's
right?
on our insurance,
Yep.
so,
Yep.
yes.
What is the ridership on that thing like?
Well, it depends, like for St. Patrick's Day, there's probably 700.
Oh, wow.
So, just on one day.
It's big between Oxford and Orion.
It
People
is.
really
It
use
certainly
it.
is. So, and I do have a ridership. I don't know if
Oh, yeah.
I put it on here.
Okay, I
So
can
you
look
can
it
kind
up.
of see. It was 686 for March. Yeah, that was just one day.
Yeah,
Or
they
2
use
days,
it for all
2
the
days.
events.
So,
And the businesses numbers when the
Right.
trolley's running versus when they're not,
Yeah.
there's huge differences.
Is there?
Yeah.
It is.
Okay. So it seems to me that they need a new trolley. I mean, this trolley's been in repair more than it's been out of repair,
Right.
almost.
it is. And I talked to Rod Charles. He's the chairman.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we're just trying to get it through maybe through next year. I'm like, I get it. I mean, and our drivers love driving it, but there's certain ones that are a little bit fussier because it really isn't heat either. So when you drive it in the winter, it's really uncomfortable because it's one thing if you're standing in and you're hopping on for 5 minutes, but if you're sitting there driving, it's cold. So we're
Right.
trying to get the heat because it just isn't comfortable.
We pay for the repairs?
No, I mean, they've been paying for the repairs themselves, right? Yeah, we have not been involved, so they bill the DDA for those repairs, so.
Is that thing in a maintenance program, do you know of any sort? Or just when something happens, we get it
something
fixed?
happens.
Yeah.
The
Right.
problem with the trolley is not a Ford Chevrolet or something.
make
Buying the parts have gotta be
That's a,
quite the challenge.
that's a hybrid thing, yeah.
Well,
The,
it's,
the,
yeah,
the issue that caught my attention and focus is that there seems to be an expectation that by the DDA, that we're gonna take care of all the odds and ends and everything, and when that wasn't available, even though they were told that it was in for repair,
It's your fault.
it came back on NODA.
Right.
And more specifically, it came back on Lynn. So I assured her that once we had talked about it, that we would obviously back her up. And the drivers, because as we know, the CDL is a license that's held by the person.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a responsibility to inspect the vehicle and make sure the vehicle's safe before they drive it. And if they're not willing, because of safety, to drive the vehicle, then the only thing we can do is turn it over to a licensed repair, and then it's back in the DDA's hands to decide, pay for the repairs or do whatever, so.
and this is a 1997 Chance trolley, they're out of business, so there are no parts to be purchased, they have to make them fabricated. So it takes time, and apparently at the last meeting, Brad Jacobson was in attendance in the last DDA meeting, and he's the one that told me that they are looking at taking all of the operations back, and I said, that's absolutely fine. So I emailed Kelly and I said, absolutely, be happy to work with you until you can take it over, and, you know, be happy to do that. And, you know, so she said that she is in the process of, it might take her a while to get there, and I said, that's fine. I said, we're happy to work with you, and
You're storing it right now, aren't you?
it's been at their place, but it's under
Just
construction.
doing in the parking lot
Right,
right
they're
now.
doing, so I don't,
Yeah.
right now it's just been at Diesel Tech.
Diesel
That's where
Tech.
Diesel Tech's been.
You know, years ago, actually, it's almost 8 years ago that this board, and then subsequently several times, this board voted against buying a trolley, getting a trolley. Because we don't want the headache, we don't want the responsibility, we don't want all that. And we
Yes,
certainly
right.
don't want a 1997
Right,
bus, trolley.
right.
So I think the best thing we can do is turn it over to the DDA.
So I'd like to suggest that we pass a motion authorizing the director, if that is brought forward by them, that will allow us to sever our connection.
So moved.
But it will be
Second.
total, it'll be totally, we're not gonna do insurance, we're not gonna do
Listen,
anything.
you're doing-
Not a
It's-
thing.
You're
Drivers are
doing-
in there, yeah, just
And
get
so
out.
if everybody,
Let them,
we'll vote on it, and if everybody's in agreement.
If it was a brand new trolley, I wouldn't have any qualms,
Okay.
but
No.
this is.
You're actually doing a favor,
that's what it
okay?
was, yeah.
You have coordination,
Yep.
you have drug testing, you have
Insurance.
contacts with insurance, with repairs, and you're going out and you're having this done to a unicorn, and you don't need the flack.
Right, and we're not making any money on this. so-
Yeah, and
No.
we've done it happily, because it
It's
is
a
a
community
public
project.
relations.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And we're
For
happy-
all of our
yeah.
serviced communities,
Good.
in one way, shape, or form. So, we're doing all we can to support, and if the DDA is not happy with the arrangement, that's fine. So I think, rather than delay it until we have to meet again, I think it-
Strongly agree.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
Yep.
No, Margie
I
already
already
did.
did.
So
You
you-
did?
Who made the
I
motion?
made the motion,
Curtis.
Okay.
Marge seconded.
Margie seconded.
How did we let her get in there?
You're getting beat a lot.
I want the DDA to get on her, not me.
Oh, good move.
It's nothing about getting on anybody, it's
Willing
about
to
the
take
fact
on
that
all,
Just for the record.
I'm just kidding.
Just for
Well-
the record, Margie Payne seconded.
you know, it's just like any other service. If you're not happy with it, go somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good
Your
faith effort.
service is not a trolley service.
We hope to get them off the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, we did what we could, we wanted to do this
Yeah,
as
we
a
did.
good community
but now it sounds like this
service.
thing's on its last leg.
But a 1997
It
just
does sound,
isn't
it doesn't
gonna
it?
do
Like-
it.
It's like patching up an old fire truck, trying to keep it running.
Right. And
I'll
the
say-
busier that we've gotten, we've grown from 17 routes to 42 in a year, like, it's just like not something we have time to deal with
Your
right now.
efforts need to be
It's-
expended
it's
on
not our
your
core
core
business,
business.
right.
Ah, we both said the same word.
Exactly.
Yeah.
so-
Lori, you got something?
However, if anybody comes across one, they see one for sale or what, especially a nicer, newer, used one, please let me or Kelly know, because they are absolutely looking at increasing and possibly looking for sponsorship and
I'm glad you said nicer and newer, because I was gonna start looking for 1997.
He was gonna look for 1998.
Newer.
well, that's all it takes, 1 year.
Well, the
You
city
know-
of Grosse Pointe actually has two, and that they may potentially be for sale, so I can put you in contact with the person.
What year are they?
Yes, please.
I know that
96?
supposedly they're new, I don't, I forget, well, they're not new,
my
they're
husband
not
told
new,
me.
but I think they're in better shape, maybe, but I can get you in contact.
Okay,
You know,
Lynn,
it's
so-
not that we're shirking our duties, but
No.
our core business is not the trolley.
Oh, yeah.
We got them through to get a trolley,
right.
and the service you provide is your core business. That is
In our core,
ancillary.
and we, in most respects, except for the actual operation of the trolley and ownership of the trolley, we have gotten the program up and running. So I don't think we have any regrets for
No,
what we've
no, I'm
done,
glad we
but,
got it
but
started.
right
And
now.
I don't think there's any
Yeah.
cynicism in this.
No.
We're not trying to
No, not at
throw
all.
this
I agree.
back on the
No.
DDA. It's, we're just,
Yeah.
And our drivers love driving it when it's running, don't they?
you know,
They do,
the
they're always
nice,
looking for opportunities. to
Yeah.
drive
the
it.
nice thing about driving a trolley is everybody's happy on
Without a
it.
doubt.
You know,
Yeah.
You're not.
Except for the
No.
mean drunks.
Yeah, I mean,
This motion will simply give Lynn the authority that if the DDA wishes to take control of the management and all the insurance of their own vehicle, that she may, with our authority, allow them to do that. It doesn't mean that we're not gonna cut them off at this point or
No.
anything. We're just saying,
Right.
if that's the way you're thinking, then we'll, God bless you and send you on your way.
Yeah.
So, Lynn, do you have a draft of what Jack said, basically?
Not really, but I'll go back. I can
Okay.
look at the tape again
Yeah.
too, so.
Okay. Okay, well, if the
Suggest.
board's okay with that, then we'll have a roll call vote on authorizing the director to terminate the agreement between NODA and the Oxford and Orion DDAs.
If requested,
If they request termination.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
McDonald,
Yes.
Sarowski,
Yes.
Flood,
Yes.
Curtis,
Yes.
Pelch,
Yes.
Brakefield,
Yes.
Payne,
Yes.
Borjo.
Yes.
Very good. Okay, and now we have our additional item,
Yeah.
Lynn, with the furniture for the, what Lynn's done is she's tried to get at least three quotes. She's gotten a couple, right? One
Well-
verbal and one, or are they both in writing?
Yes, I have one in writing, there's two in writing, but we met today and we're gonna make a couple changes on them, so I don't have an adjusted amount. We originally thought, we didn't wanna have, Emma didn't wanna have it too high, and she thought maybe we'd have a lower one and then glass, for the top. But after talking to him, it sounds like that's not gonna be acoustic, it's not gonna help with the sound as much, so we went back just with the acoustic to help, because that's part of the issue. They're looking at doing like it's gonna be 8 cubicles, like in a T shape. In the, it's gonna take up pretty much the whole
Right.
break room area. And it's like maybe a 3-foot area behind, like to get to the door and get around to that. So we're gonna have to move like the table that's in the break room into the garage for the drivers. That's gonna be their new area, and the coffee station will be out in the garage. So a little bit of a change there,
What
but
about
I don't know.
wiring requirements? Have you thought of that?
So they said that you can do a pole that goes up into the, which is probably gonna be cleaner, because then you don't have it on the ground.
Right.
And then I was thinking about doing some snap-in-place carpet squares to put underneath, so it's not permanent, but it's something that to help with the sound. We might look for some sound protection on the walls if it gets loud after we get it, because we're just not sure right now.
Eight
the sound,
people talking at once,
Right.
it's a
Right.
boiler room,
Right,
basically.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So we priced out, three of them. This one comes to $16,671. The one that we met with today was slightly less than that. This one has the glass in it, but I think that the other one is cheaper, so I think that this is probably gonna be the most, but we were still waiting on a third one.
Which one
So-
is the most?
This one so far,
16,000.
16,671.
That's with the
Not to
glass.
exceed.
That's with the glass.
Yep,
so I
there you
think
go,
it's
that's why I
gonna
was
be a
waiting for the
little-
number.
And this one includes installation, delivery and installation with it, so, the other one did not have a price for the installation yet, so he was gonna let me know. So obviously it was less, but it was, so the units are, this one is 8 units at $1653.75 for each, cubicle, so that's $13,230. There's freight of $375, delivery and installation of $2,250. And then tax, which we'll get out of tax, so it's actually $15,855.
Is it just your walls or your whole furniture?
That's the whole furniture.
And power
That's your
pole?
desks and chairs and everything?
No, it's desk, it's like
Okay.
a cubicle, I'm showing a picture of it.
Okay.
It's like cubicles and then the chairs just go into it, so.
Okay.
Are chairs gonna be necessary?
We don't have chairs, we have chairs
Already?
already in that one, you
Okay.
know, that's gonna be minimal.
If you need chairs, bring it up at the next meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is something we really can't wait on, is
Yeah.
it? Because you gotta move.
What amount we looking at? For a-
Not to exceed
$16,675.
18,000.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
let's give her
probably,
some wiggle room.
I think that would be great,
Yeah.
yeah.
How much, 18?
I'm waiting.
I'll make a
I think
motion.
that's
Support.
great.
You made it. You
Gotcha.
made it. If you make it,
What?
the motion?
Jeff?
I thought you made.
Okay, I made the motion,
All right, Ed,
not to exceed 18,000.
Not second.
all right, and,
That'll buy you a couple
thank
chairs.
you. Yeah.
Well,
Maybe
yeah,
some carpet
yeah.
squares,
Well,
I don't
those
know
are,
about those, but, yeah.
those are discretionary purchases that you
Yes.
can make.
Exactly.
Right.
But,
Right.
But not when you have to buy eight of them. I mean, it is
Not to
discretionary,
mention,
but
Madison Township just got new
So we're not-
chairs. So we got a lot of chairs.
We're not specifying a vendor, we're
No, we're
giving
giving
that
Lynn the
discretion
authorization
yeah.
to purchase,
To purchase
not
up to
to
that
exceed
limit.
Not
Now,
to
what
exceed.
about the driver's break room? You say you're moving that out to the garage. Is there any thoughts about somewhere down the line enclosing a little area for them?
We talked about maybe possibly doing that, yes,
Okay.
because there's a few drivers that they're feeling displaced a little bit, you know, so.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that
you
price
know,
should cover it, if, you know, because we gave her up to 18 grand. If you can find something
You
for
can buy
15,000.
drywall for a
For-
couple
yeah,
extra.
yeah.
Oh, drywall it? I thought we
Because
might
we-
just put the petitions
Oh,
around.
no, no,
Because you
no.
know how we have
in
a
the
storage
dog
room
bed.
out there, you know, we could maybe do the walls off and just wall off another
Okay.
area that potentially they could be considered a little bit more of a room.
Yeah, just frame it and drywall
And,
it.
we could do that, and we have this furnaces right there, so we could heat that, because the only heat out there is the, ceiling
The-
heat.
yeah.
She says waiting on the carbon monoxide.
What
Yeah.
about, what about Mike's office?
So that's gonna become a
Yeah.
little conference room, and then Mike's gonna move into the dispatch room.
Okay,
So,
okay.
we have a little conference table, we're gonna use
Alright.
that, and put the TV in the little conference room is what our
Okay.
thoughts are.
All right, Mike.
But
Too bad we don't have that extra space in the back of the
I
building.
keep sending them places for sale. I'm like, did you see this one?
Okay, so we have a motion to authorize the director to make a purchase of the 8 cubicles at a cost not to exceed $18,000. Is there any questions on that motion or edits? If not, could we have a roll call, please, Lynn?
McDonald,
Yes.
Sarowski,
Yes.
Flood,
Yes.
Curtis,
Yes.
Couch,
Yes.
Wakefield.
Yes.
Payne.
Yes.
Bergeron.
Yes.
Okay, so motion carries. We have enough in the proper fund to cover this purchase?
We do.
Okay, very good.
Oh, yeah, we don't go into our accounts, do we, when we're doing a motion here? No, do we?
Oh,
No,
right.
we generally don't. but
Oh,
I-
is that
Yeah.
something I need to be doing?
But-
I don't know. If I should be doing something,
We
just let
always
me
have
know.
If it works.
Oh, yeah, we always say charge
Oh,
to such and
charge.
such
Yeah.
account.
Oh, it's a general fund
Some-
account.
some do.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
That helps us just make sure that,
Oh, there's-
Okay, I would
We're
like
not-
to amend my motion to be charged to the general account.
All right.
Then my support.
oh, embarrassing, I'm sorry. Okay,
Okay.
so that said, we'll move on to public comments, if any. Hearing none. Receive and file the monthly rider and mileage reports.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second to receive and file. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Board member comments. We'll start with Mr. Curtis.
I have no comments, thank you.
Okay, Margie?
No comment.
On behalf of Mr. Barnett, our supervisor at Orion Township, he's putting on his State of the Township tonight at Woodside Church right across from the Township Hall in Joslin.
That's at 6:30, right?
6:30 doors open and the program starts at 7.
Okay.
And tonight's, I think it's Night at the Movies or something like that. He always has a theme.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Well, thank you. Tell
We
him we
got food and
appreciate
drinks?
the invitation.
You gotta have.
Not alcohol, but there'll be,
Afterwards.
they'll have
taste
food.
all-
And, oh yeah, all your sponsors and stuff will be there. Oh yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All your big restaurants and
Well,
stuff.
please extend our appreciation for his invitation.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's it.
No comment.
Yeah.
Nothing, thank you.
None for me? Ed?
None for me?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
That's not right.
Third.
What?
That's just not right.
What?
My brain
Who
was
was,
even.
who was second? It was so famous.
Marjorie.
Okay.
He always said, that motion's
You,
always a
it's
motion,
one of
right?
three people.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no.
Isn't that motion
Thank
always
you,
a motion,
everybody,
Jack?
for a good meeting and for your attendance. Take care.